So if you were like me, you were probably wondering why the first episode of The House of the Dragon didn't have a cool intro with the classic Game of Thrones theme playing over top of it. But episode 2 revealed that there was a good reason for not including it, as there would have been some massive spoilers for the opening episode.
I will not sit here and suffer crows that come to feast on their corpses!
The intro to House of the Dragon is essentially one big Targaryen family tree telling you who is dead and who's alive, with the movement of the blood and its flow indicating who's bitten the dust. As you know, the familial blood ties in Game of Thrones are pretty confusing and often pretty creepy, but this intro serves as a great way to give us a breakdown of the long history of the House of the Dragon. The intro, which follows a model that looks very similar to the one created by Viserys, starts off after the fall of Valyria with the sigil of Aegon the Conqueror, the man who conquered the 7 kingdoms of Westeros, invading from Dragonstone before creating the city of King's Landing, with the 3 dragons on his sigil, indicating how he was able to conquer and submit the other kingdoms. We also see the blood of Aegon flowing down 2 gears to his sisters Visenya and Rhaenys, who helped him to conquer Westeros. But because the intro's only like a minute long and not 3 hours, it follows Visenya no further, and instead follows Aegon and Rhaenys' bloodline as the 2 have a son together, as is the Targaryen way, by the name of Aenys. That's Aenys, like Daenerys, not Aenus. Next, we see Aenys' son, King Jaehaerys Targaryen, one of the more popular leaders in Westerosi history, whose crown is shown in his insignia and is directly connected to his sister wife Alysanne, again, as the Targaryens like to do. Jaehaerys and Alysanne have 9 different lines spreading from their union, indicating their many children that have passed during his long reign as king. Their lines then meet once again at the bottom of the building with Balon and Alyssa, their 2 children who married. While Balon would never become king, as you know, his son Viserys would indeed ascend the throne. The intro then shows the flow of blood directly to King Viserys Targaryen, quickly showing Daemon Targaryen to the side, until King Viserys' line unites with his cousin Aemma Arryn. And this is where the episode 1 spoilers come in, as the intro soon shows that she's dead. As House of the Dragon credits flows from Targaryen to Targaryen, the majority of the gears end up being filled with blood, which indicates that the Targaryen in question is dead, just like Queen Aemma Arryn's. We then see the blood flowing down to Rhaenyra Targaryen, who is of course the heir to the Iron Throne, for now anyway. That's because if you look closely, House of the Dragon's gear for Viserys is also very subtly spun with another line of blood spreading off the screen, which is more than likely a reference to his impending marriage to Alicent Hightower. And I'm not going to say any more because that would be spoilers, but anyway, as Rhaenyra is the current heir to the Iron Throne, as of House of the Dragon Season 1 Episode 2 anyway, the opening credits end with her spinning gear and insignia, which is seen on the necklace she's given by Daemon. Of course though, like Game of Thrones, as the story progresses and the series changes, this intro will surely change with it. But of course, this isn't just a typical Targaryen family tree, and the intro also shows some historical events the Targaryens were involved with, and also foreshadows some of the major plot points to come in the series, such as the infamous Dance of the Dragons, the Targaryen Civil War, which we will not give any more details on because that would be spoilers. As mentioned though, the first event we see is the Doom of Valyria, which appears on Aegon's symbol and shows the Targaryens' eventual occupation of Dragonstone. As Aegon's blood flows down the side of the building, we can see images of soldiers fighting one another, which references the Targaryen invasion and their war with the 7 kingdoms. Then as Rhaenyra's blood begins to flow, the wall above the bloodline shows 2 dragons fighting, surrounded by the sigils of some memorable Game of Thrones houses, such as Lannisters, Baratheons, Dustins, Hightowers, Starks, and Freys. And this is all a reference to the Dance of Dragons, and that's all I will say here. But as we mentioned, seeing as the intro is only a minute long, it only follows the direct line of the Iron Throne to the Targaryens in the show's current timeline, which means that there are a few notable omissions in the Flow of Blood family tree. One of these notable characters is the infamous and ruthless King Maegor Targaryen, who usurped the crown after the death of his brother Aegon the Conqueror. Maegor was thought to be killed by the sword-filled Iron Throne itself, as the Iron Throne rejects leaders it sees as unfit, hence why the throne is rejecting Viserys. With no true heirs, the Iron Throne then passed to Jaehaerys, which is likely why the intro skips over Maegor and straight to the Old King. Now, while we don't have time to go over all of the missing Targaryens and the family tree, which looks like a subway map, another notable Targaryen not to be referenced in the title is Rhaenys Targaryen's father, Aemon, who was the eldest son of King Jaehaerys. Despite the Targaryens being the central family in House of the Dragon, we do see other houses on the outskirts of the model as they married into the house. The credits very quickly show the bloodlines further to the side of the city model, such as the one that indicates Rhaenys Targaryen, and on the wall of the other building, Corlys Velaryon, with their union leading to Lady Laena Velaryon. The intro then cuts back to the main Targaryen line's River of Blood to King Viserys Targaryen, with the High Tower's insignia, the house of Alicent and Otto, visible on the opposite side of the city, which, with the betrothal of Viserys and Alicent, will become much closer. As mentioned though, this intro will likely be constantly shifting and changing as the series progresses, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for any Easter eggs, references, and other fun stuff in the future. See ya!